medicine is a practice, right? That's why they call it a practice. Guess what? We're talking about practice.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Talking about practice. And that's what it is. Because a lot of times there's a lot of training, there's a lot of experience, there's a lot of repetition. And sometimes there's the left turn. And that surgeon's hands deep inside your spine, trying to figure out how to rewire something he's never seen before. And they make decisions on the fly. And they make judgment calls based on education and experience. But they're still guessing. And that's kind of where we are with a novel virus, novel virus, that continues to baffle us. We still don't know enough about Omicron. We don't know enough about its mutations. We know it's here. We know it's 73% of all new cases, Ben. That's 3 weeks.
If somebody say he doesn't come to practice, it can be one practice. Out of all the practices this year, that's enough. If I can't practice, I can't practice, man. If I'm hurt, I'm hurt.
That's about. If I'm hurt, I'm hurt. That's like, man, I'm calling in sick.
It ain't about that. It's not about that at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in here talking about practice.
This is my favorite part.
Practice. We up when you just talk about practice. We sitting here. I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. Not a game. Not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice. I know I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man.
Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledging knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, brews, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Monday night's #1 podcast that Dan Brooks still doesn't listen to. It's Topic Thunder! Hey, it's the last show of the year, so hey, welcome into the Topic Thunderdome here, ladies and gentlemen. Monday night, 7 p.m. Ben, that was did you tweak the intro there? That was...
The outro, yes. The outro, I tweaked it a little bit because the original outro from the previously ons had Sunday night. And so then I needed to change it, and then I needed to do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to change it up entirely. I like the enter the Thunderdome, join the discussion.
I like the fades, man. Very slick, the silver with the lighting and everything. It was really cool. That was... that intro doesn't actually get old, so we need to. All right, we're gonna meld those things together, so you don't have to push too many buttons there, right? Hey, it's Monday night. I'm Brooks. That's Ben. It's Topic Thunder, and we know what you're here for. We know why you're here. You're here to discuss here in the little cozy internet saloon we've built over the last year, because now Topic Thunder is over a year old. This will be episode 56.
Indeed.
And for some reason, I didn't feel like celebrating of like episode 52 the year. I think we'll just shoot for 100. And then
it's going to be the next one. And that'll be the big blowout. Yes.
And I think we do something fun or something stupid or crazy and like do some wacky boarded DJ stuff or something like that, whatever. But yeah, I see that the chat room. Hey,
Can we get
Thank you, Kevin.
Topic Thunder.
If we got that guy on the show for the 100th episode.
Kevin Conroy.
Happy birthday, Mike Brooks.
Yes, that would be okay in my book. He can sit in our green room. Yes, Kevin Conroy, that'd be great. Although outside of like Batman and maybe a couple of other like bit parts in movies and stuff, you really wouldn't know his body of work. So we'd really have to brush up on his like catalog if we didn't want to make asses of ourselves.
Hey, I'm not afraid of making an ass of myself. That's what I do every Monday.
So hey, so Ben, how was your Christmas?
Oh, it was good.
No, hit the music, man. We're fine.
Yeah, Christmas was good at the Jordan household. Everybody got what they wanted. I killed it when it came to coffee cups. I've got many new coffee cups now, so I'm very excited about that.
I gotta so really quick. We'll just we'll make the beer announcement. A delicious. I'm already into one, so this is nothing new for me. This is the Blood Orange IPA from 21st Amendment. It's I'm gonna show off one of my cool new Christmas toys. I was given an official IPA glass by Gigi. So don't ask me the science behind this one because I didn't look it up because I believe the Earth is flat. And
so that's with a glass specifically for IPA beers. That's interesting.
And I'm fairly certain. I sit here and have this segment on the show like beer, like I really know what I'm talking about. I like drinking it. But I believe the ripples here in the glass have an effect that kind of, for a very crude way of saying, stir up the ingredients, maybe oxygenate the beer.
Right.
So we're just gonna pour it in there and we're gonna have ourselves we have the studio dog rules are now in effect, ladies and gentlemen. Studio dog rules are in effect. We are subject to Fiona.
Fiona's cool. We're good.
So I also wanted to show you said you got a coffee mug thing going on, right? Gigi not only like got to the plate 5 times, how rare is that in a game, but hit a home run each time with men on base or women on base, and had an OPS of like 1.7058, right? Starting with this really badass.
Oh, look at that! Yes, Topic Thunder. I gotta take myself off the screen for a minute, so that's full screen. Hold on. Oh no, wrong one.
You're a handsome man, Ben. Oh, yes. And just keep it like that because I got another thing to show you if you haven't noticed already. But yeah, a Topic Thunder mug. And the coffee was delicious out of it. Not only that, not 1, not 2, but 3 different Topic Thunder t-shirts. Look at that. They feel good. They look good. And I think that one's my favorite. But she delivered on some merch.
I love that font. I love that shirt. I think that could be now our maybe the first official Topic Thunder. I need one now. It's like a color, but I like that.
It's a nice like university kind of like style, like you like the team name and like the logo and everything. And and if we just need to have a website or at like Twitch or something on like the mass production one. But holy smokes, Gigi, thank you, Angela.
Speaking of Twitch, by the way, kudos to everyone. I see a lot. Mama Jordan is on Twitch now. Courtney's on Twitch now. Obviously, Gigi was on there. Hayden's on there with us. I know that Ryan is both on Twitch and on Facebook. So he's on both. I believe he's the head editor, if I'm not mistaken.
That is.
Yes. So Ma Jordan. There's Mrs. Jordan 630. Oh, is that? That is Adrian, my wife. So both my wife and my mom are both on Twitch as we've asked them to be. So yes, everybody, please, if you haven't already, make the switch. It helps us to have people actively engaging with the show while we're live on Twitch. It allows us to be on sometimes maybe show up on the main screen, maybe get some new eyes, maybe bring some new people into the Thunderdome. So
what a professional to just kind of bring, hey, we mentioned this and you came right in. But I think somewhere in there you said, make the switch. Like, make the switch to Twitch.
Oh, there's another t-shirt. That's another t-shirt.
Topic Thunder.
Giving out the merch ideas.
Happy birthday, Mike Brooks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as Hayden points out, Twitch is the best platform. So get your asses over there.
I'll have to check it out sometime. Yeah, let's kind of get into it. It's the last show of the year, by God, and I don't know. I didn't feel like there's some fun stuff, there's some interesting stuff, but a kind of a mixed bag. I kind of wanted to do not necessarily like a year. It's not certainly not a year in review. That's lame and played out, but it's I'm spraying to all fields on this one for the year-end episode of Topic Thunder. So let's kind of get right into it. This is breaking news as of this morning. President Joe Biden has signed into law the National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, for the fiscal year of 2022, which authorizes $770 billion in defense spending.
Great. But we
The
can't
White House-
afford. Nobody, you don't hear any Republicans, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, Madison Cawthorn, fucking Dark Match Snake Plissken. None of them are going to ask, how are we going to pay for it? That's a lot of money. Where's that money going to come from? They just fucking sign right off on that shit. It's fucking ridiculous. That's an insane amount of money for the military.
Did you happen to mention Madison Cawthorn?
I did.
Ooh, we're gonna get to something about that guy a little bit later, as I think I accurately pegged him being the right wing FDR mouthpiece, sort of like pawn on the chessboard. Well, we got you squaring our sights here on Topic Thunder, Mr. Cawthorn, but there's a couple of cool things in the bill, I guess. If you think a 2.7% pay increase for troops is okay, well, let me tell you, 2.5% pay increases kind of suck. 2.7, yeah, probably doesn't even cover the cost of living increase. So it's
that's window dressing. That's window dressing for them to hang out there and say, this is what's in there. You're going to say no to this? Oh, do you hate the military? Do you hate the men and women that serve because you don't want to give them a raise? No, I'm happy giving them a raise. You know what I'm not happy doing? I'm not happy giving Eric Prince a raise, because that's what is essentially happening. I'm not interested in giving him a raise. I'm not interested in giving Jeff Bezos a raise. Those are the military contractors, the military industrial complex, if you will. I'm not interested in giving them billions of dollars. No, I'm not.
And it's funny you say that, because this is a story from our friends at The Guardian, who I am going to make a contribution to in the name of the show, because we do use their stories quite a bit here, and it's good reporting. Here's a headline: Colossal Waste. Nobel laureates call for a 2% cut to military spending worldwide. Governments are urged to use a peace dividend to help the UN tackle pandemics, climate crises, and extreme poverty. Now, this in and of itself is probably not a whole lot of news. Wow, really smart, lofty, kind of
forward thinking.
Bourgeois. Yeah, people think that we should more socialistic ideas. Okay, great, fantastic. Here's what I thought was really interesting. I was kind of reading into this. When you hear that number, $770 billion, it's a lot, right? But what's the comparison?
Right.
Right. So this is an interesting paragraph. Total military spending amounted, this is global military spending. Hang on to your butts on this one. Total military global spending amounted to $1,981 billion. Let's repeat that again. $1,981 billion. That was just last year, and that was an increase of 2.6%. Here's what the paragraph answers all those questions I asked. The 5 biggest spenders in the world on defense yearly: United States, $770 billion.
Uh-huh.
The next closest and second isn't even close: China, with $252 billion. So 2/3 less.
Yeah, I was going to say that's more than double. Well, more than double.
2/3.
As a matter of fact, if you added together The 4 after us on this top 5, I bet it doesn't add, if it does add up, it barely adds up to the amount we're spending.
And how about India as a dark horse number 3? Would you have even pegged them for the top 5?
I would have guessed the other 4 easily. I don't know that I ever would have guessed India being the fifth of the top 5. No,
I would have thought like Japan or like maybe Australia or something, like maybe Canada, something like that, right?
Yeah,
but not India. Like, whoa, what are you guys doing over there? So think about those numbers, folks, and we sign that bill every year.
Again, we've talked about this a lot, where you have to kind of wrap your head around how much 1 billion is. 1 billion is 999,000 millions. This is 1,981 billions. That is such an amazing amount of money that could have easily fed and housed every homeless person on this planet. On the planet, there would be no third world countries. There would be nobody having to worry about clean water and food anywhere on this planet if we spent that money in a different way than on fucking military.
This in just we're just talking 1 year. You guys can get back to your crazy defense spending and whatever you're $770 billion and you get a 2.7% pay increase. Where the hell else is that money going to? And we hear stories all the time of China's unprecedented military growth and spending and how they've ramped up, blah, blah, blah. Well,
it's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess somebody's kind of got to, if you remove the flag from the wherever you are. If you just like look at this like with the completely neutral eyes, you see somebody spending that much money on defense. Wouldn't you be like, shit, I got to do something about that. He's going to come with guns. I got to have at least brass knuckles.
Yeah, it is an absurd amount of money for something that, we have kind of talked about on this show is somewhat becoming irrelevant, right? Because wars in the future are not going to be boots on the ground, hand-to-hand combat. We've established that. And that's not where things are heading. So I think if we dig into it, they're spending a lot of money on that type of warfare, right? Weapons and, equipment and, more planes and more tanks and drones and all this, right?
Robots.
Yeah, robots, right? For an aspect of war that I think is going to be irrelevant. Russia isn't going to play that game. China has no interest in that kind of war. Nobody on the planet is interested in a hand-to-hand combat war with anyone in 2021. There's better ways to do it.
Land wars will still be fought because the basis of any land war is usually like resource acquisition.
Right.
So there will be land wars in that regard. Like the reason Putin wants Ukraine is because he wants to control that land for to be able to put gas lines through and be able to export like Russian gas, methane. So he wants to control it. Of course, it's the kind of the eastern edge of the European Union too, right? So there's strategic value to that. So as far like, are we going to invade somewhere that doesn't have any strategic value like that? No, but like what we're looking at here is like this asymmetrical warfare, this non-linear warfare, non-traditional wars. How could we be spending this much money and have our pants down when all this shit happened, when they can clearly hack our grid, hack our water supply, hack our elections? What are we spending this on? There better be a Death Star out there then. I don't care if you're going to aim it at us. I just need to see it because that's what that's the money we're talking about. There better be something out there. This ginormous space platform. Like, guys, we had figured out. We didn't want to tell you what we were spending this money on. Turns out we were the good guys all along. We built this platform for everybody to go and kind of live on because we found a rock that's headed our way. Well, we've got 30 years left.
Remember, don't ever forget that, if I'm not mistaken, it was the day before 9/11 that the Pentagon announced that they couldn't account for I think it was in the neighborhood of billions of dollars,
It's a T.
or trillions of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Over like 20 years or 15 years or something like that. Yeah.
That was in 2001, right? They were already not knowing and not accounting for trillions of dollars. There's never any accounting done.
We give Lockheed Martin per year more money than Russia spends on its entire defense for the year.
Make that make sense. Anyone out there in the comments, please help me make that make sense.
It's not just an economic war, though, Ryan. It's an everything war. Like we have to stop thinking of war in any kind of like a compartmental facet, right? It's not just a naval thing. It's not just an internet thing. It's not just an economy thing. It's not just a social media mass psychology operation thing. It's all of those things. And we have the best military in the world with the brightest minds in the world. Again, you're getting pretty hefty sum over there, folks. What are you doing with that? Where the eyes and did those eyes get like shut basically by people higher up saying like, yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That the $1.5 billion that cracked off to some shell company that has 35 other shell companies behind it.
Right. Yeah. Or Eric Prince for some more, fucking mercenary work.
Security. Yeah, come on. So speaking of Eric Prince and the ilk of that nature, have you seen this story with Alex Jones? I'm not talking about the domestic violence issue
or the Sandy Hook thing. No.
Oh, the multiple lawsuits. Every lawsuit that file he's lost,
Yeah.
and he's in a lot of trouble, right? No, I'm talking about the one where he's turning on Trump and slams Trump for supporting COVID-19 vaccines.
He's not the only one. There is a lot of Trumpers who are turning on the man. It is fascinating to see.
Oh, it is. It's like there's the big shark in the water, right? And somebody, and maybe accidentally in Candace Owens' case, because I don't think she's smart enough to actually find a weakness in the big shark. She just stumbled into it, and Trump, being the dummy that he is, just said, well, yeah, but actually what he said was right. If you don't get the vaccine, you're playing into their hands. It's grotesque what he meant by that. He's meaning you're going to die.
Correct.
And no longer be able to vote for me.
Correct.
If you don't get this vaccine.
Yes. And honestly, it is something that is a very real thing. Like the voting base for that guy and for that party, a lot more of them died of COVID than did Democrats. So you're literally losing voters that you can't sway them back, right? There's no policy. There's nothing you can do to sway back dead people. They're dead.
There's a Venn diagram in the making. Yeah, a map of what the Civil War pro-slavery South looks like. Mm-hmm. A map of
is an emergency Christmas Day warning to President Trump.
It is. Thank you, Alex. That's please cut that up. Let's use that forever. The other Venn diagram is I guess you could do it four ways. A Republican voting base, right? Then there's the anti-vax community, right? And then there's the welfare state, like the states that don't pull their own weight with the GDP. They're taking money in from that Venn diagram points to one specific direction. And holy smokes, you're right, Alex Jones. This is a Christmas Day warning to President Trump. This is what
I got more video here.
Please, this guy.
It's worth it.
You are either completely ignorant about the so-called vaccine gene therapy that you helped ram through with Operation Warp Speed, or you're one of the most evil men who has ever lived to push this toxic poison on the public and to attack your constituents when they simply try to save their lives and the lives of others. We're about to lay out the basic, incontrovertible facts that what you told Candace Owens just a few days ago is nothing but a raft of dirty lies.
Think about that. Believing
So
that to be true.
they're now all of these other sharks are smelling blood in the water, right? So they're feeding on themselves. They're all attacking each other, and it's going to implode. But what will probably become of this are the coalition of power of behind a Ron DeSantis, who will step in and like bridge both of those intellectual gaps that they have.
You know who's playing the game a little bit? My boy Snake Plissken. He's kind of playing it a little bit too, where he's saying he's kind of telling the Trumpers a little bit of truth, right? And the Trumpers don't necessarily like hearing it, but he's got that. I look at my eye patch. I served. You can't be mad at me. And he kind of uses that against them now. And he's playing a very interesting game where he's like, guys, listen, we can't just be saying anything, and because we're saying it, it's true. When we say something as a party, when we have something, we have to know that it's factual, right? And there's a lot of people that don't give a shit about whether it's factual or not. If it doesn't fit their narrative, it's not factual.
And that person wears a "fuck your feelings" T-shirt,
Right.
which is the ultimate sweet irony. So let's talk about that horrible evil poison that we're injecting everywhere, full of nanobots and magnets and the side of the devil, Lucifer himself, Beelzebub. Let's talk about some of the research that's going on, still ongoing, science going on live while we speak. They've found something rather interesting and possibly a game-changing solution to not only this pandemic but possible other pandemics. And it is one of those wonderful full-blown studies in the article of the journal Nature. So it is kind of like, yeah, I think you have to pay for it to it's a big deal, right? And it's not one of those things that's really conducive to a topic thunders type conversation, except for this last couple of paragraphs. And I'll kind of break down what they're talking about. The Omicron virus has baffled everybody. There are 37 different changes in the protein spike. And that's the thing that kind of injects itself in the healthy cell membrane, right? In this one variant alone, 37 different changes in that like combination to get through the shields of the healthy cell. That's what's made it so contagious. We've never seen that many variations or in the amino acid substitutions on spike S protein. So what they have started looking at, and apparently we're looking at all along, not necessarily the proteins that change, but the proteins that don't change. Okay. And that's where they think they've kind of found a breakthrough right here. And here's back to the study. The magnitude of Omicron-mediated immune evasion marks a major SARS-CoV antigenic shift, broadly neutralizing MBAS, recognizing RDT epitopes. So they're getting into like the different proteins and everything, but what they found is they've isolated specific proteins on the spike that they think they can attack those because those are not changing. And they literally think it may be the key to controlling the ongoing pandemic and future zoonotic spillovers. So not only this one, but this is advancing the way they not only see this protein spike of a virus,
right,
but how they attack it. So instead of going after the thing that the virus is changing to attack the healthy cell, they're going to go after the thing that it's not, the base, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was fascinating that
they're looking for any way around it, right? And this is how science works, right? For everybody we are in a society wants the answer right now. And if we can't get the answer right now, it's not soon enough. And that's not how science works, and particularly this kind of science, virus science, novel virus science. This has to take time. And we're going to go through probably, many more pandemics because of this.
And just to be able to think about how long we've come, or how long it's been to come to where we are. Hey, just a really quick, I guess I didn't tell everybody, I pulled a really weird shift Sunday night and a Monday. I worked like 13 hours. So I'm a little bit sleep deprived, and I've been drinking. So if I start to trail off, Ben, maybe you need to kind of reel me back in, or otherwise we're just gonna get a woo kind of night right here sometime.
I've been known to wrangle people in when they're telling stories. So
thank you. But it's the research into mRNA vaccines and the
those change your DNA, Brooks.
And look, and to give you the 5G receptors, right? What's the other one? I think we did the magnets, we did the nanobots, we did the Mark of the Beast, we did so which one? I thought there was one more, maybe the Thunderdome. Right, Joe Rogan, like, because come on, like, and that's a what happened to Joe Rogan? Like, what the fuck happened to Joe Rogan?
The great part is he records so often that you can actually track on a week-to-week basis. At the beginning of COVID, he took it very seriously. He had a lot of guests in that were taking it very seriously. Then he started hearing from his buddies, his crackpot buddies like Eddie Bravo and those kind of people, right? And then they were saying, well, there's this doctor that says this different. And so he was having those people on, and you could see Joe Rogan slowly, week by week, getting manipulated by his conservative right-wing friends and guests on his show. They were just leading him down this path. And the man has the biggest audience on earth. And so if you're able to manipulate him to get your side of the story out, well, it's a very powerful, it is the biggest bullhorn in the world. And they have, the right wing has done such a great job of infiltrating that show that he almost never has a left-leaning person on, ever. It's very rare to find someone with a liberal argument, a liberal side of the argument, or anybody that's going to push back on any of the narratives that have been fed to him. He doesn't have a lot of those people on anymore. And that's where he's drifted from learning about cool things that are different with Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson and guys like that, to now all of his comic friends, and all they want to talk about is Twitter, people on Twitter saying things that they don't like, and being offended by the fact that people are offended by their jokes or are criticizing their jokes. And now his whole thing is being anti-vaccine, being pro-health, pro antibodies, and all anything but the vaccine he's willing to promote. Anything other than the vaccine.
And you're right, and him being like the number one podcast in, I guess, the world, or whatnot, at least like the North American region here, would also kind of make him a target for other influences, I guess, right? And we've talked about plenty of opportunity where our adversaries look for those opportunities and those possible weaker minds and float ideas or push influence their way. We might actually talk about another one of those. Did we talk about Madison Cawthorn yet? No.
We mentioned it, but we're going to get to
in my delirium. No, we haven't. We have not yet gotten to him yet. And I think that I see Michael V in the chat. So and Supreme. So thanks for joining us, gentlemen. I've made a veiled reference to Russia. Let's make a direct one. Hey, stop me if you've heard this story before. The creator of Sputnik and Pogrom, Vigor Provisnorum, fell out of the window, the center of Moscow, the other day. Now, have you heard this one? Stop me if you have. In the center of Moscow, a Russian journalist, founder of the Sputnik and Pogrom project, which I guess are anti-government. They described it as Russia nationalist propaganda. That's how the Russian government described it. You and I might just call it criticizing your government and pointing out all of the things that, well, we tend to point out just in the first half of the show here today. Mm-hmm. He fell from a window. Interesting enough, he died before the ambulance arrived, which let's face it, that ambulance was never going to get there in any sort of urgency. And this is even the best part too. Some eyewitnesses claimed that the deceased had a knife in his hand and pepper spray was lying not far from the body.
Jesus.
This was in like the Russian media. This is
Dude, he had pepper spray,
eyewitnesses.
defensive wounds, but he fell out the window. Come on.
The family confirmed that that in fact was their loved one that lost his life, but also now have raised questions. Specifically, the wife saying this is most likely a fake, and I guess she should stay away from windows, stairs, all sorts of bladed weaponry and choking devices.
Yes, I agree.
Let's just kind of keep it. Let's move the map a little bit west to and north to the friends in Finland. Have you seen this one? This is great.
Yes.
This sums up the anger and dissatisfaction of the consumer as a man in Finland blows up his Tesla Model S when he got hit with a $26,000 repair bill for it. Let me save you the details because there's a video that we need to watch. And I think you can start the video in about 5 minutes, Ben. Crux of the story: man buys Model S. It works good for about 1,000 miles, and then starts to throw error codes, and the battery needs to be replaced. The battery costs $22,600 for this model. So instead of repairing the vehicle, he decides with his friends and I don't know who else to strap 66 pounds of explosives to his Tesla Model S and deliver a message to Elon Musk with his over $20,000 battery repair.
Dude, yeah. So this video is kind of long, so I'm going to kind of try to skip
Let's
through
go
a little
5 minutes in. 5 minutes in is kind of, I think, where they kind of get going here.
Yeah, here we go.
Ja mun mielestä sulla on ohjeet siihen annettu, eikö niin?
So Finnish.
Sitten on jotain yhteinen countdowni. 3, 2, 1!
He throws up the horns. Oh, I think they do all kinds of slow-mo stuff here. Yeah, that's a good spot. Good spot. There's drone shots. There's like the camera was destroyed getting this footage shots. They in addition to 66 pounds of explosives, which I would guess would get you on some sort of list here in the States. He was able to procure them along with all this high digital equipment. Like get it from the bottom of the ravine, Jorgen. Jorgen. That's cool.
That is very cool.
That's cool. You get to see the ignition. Like, that's cool.
Kaboom.
A nice little Model S. That's how much did he spend on the explosives? He didn't want to foot a $20,000 bill for the battery. How much did he spend? And what did the insurance company do?
Yeah, I doubt he filed an insurance claim. After putting this
Drone
video
footage.
on. Look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. Incredible. Yeah, no, that's you're right though. That is the ultimate like consumer is upset and I'm gonna fuck this thing. Kind of, fuck it.
Yeah. So we kind of teased this little story about FDR wannabe Madison Cawthorn, and I want to
big, but not a big.
Not a big, but I think he's one of those that you want to keep your eye on because somebody clearly has their sights on him. And I'll just say it in some sort of like Manchurian candidate sort of way. And we'd like to, from the desk of Topic Thunder, offer our condolences to U.S. Representative Madison Cawthorn and his now ex-wife as they are divorcing, which isn't really a huge big deal. Right? Not really.
Not really, right? It's almost like, it on its surface feels like Kardashian-esque, gossip kind of shit, right?
And a couple of different things. Here's NBC News. U.S. Representative Madison Cawthorn and his wife are divorcing. The North Carolina Republican announced on Wednesday, citing irreconcilable differences. He's 26, was elected to Congress last November, and said as he and his wife, Christina, have decided to divorce mutually. He shared the news of his marriage in an April tweet. Said on Wednesday they were engaged before he was in Congress, and he took office. Their lives changed, and they tried to balance the enormity of such a transition in life. So, okay.
Yeah, what happened was she was back at home in North Carolina. He was in Washington, D.C., and the pussy was everywhere.
He does have a history, and a very well documented history of sexual harassment and women chasing.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, but maybe there's. Tell me more about this Christina person, because 8 months of marriage, it kind of got me hooked here. I kind of need to know the other side. I know what this doofus is. I need to know a little bit about her. So I would tell you, let me check out the AP. All right, North Carolina Representative wife Christina divorcing after 8 months of marriage, citing difficulty balancing enormous transition of the 26-year-old President Donald Trump, youngest member of Congress, and the 11th district seat held on Mark Meadows, blah blah blah. I was just from the sunset, we're committed to make things work. Fight for our marriage, says the council. Blah 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 blah. We want to live in a world that creates blah 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 blah. Yet Madison is fighter. He will help see this country, and then adds, okay, well, hold on. Well, you want to come up? Come on. Come here. No, she's in the show. She wants to know.
Hey, there we go.
She wants to know what's up with Madison Cawthorn. So I had to go to, I actually had to go to the man himself, and she's like, I don't want to podcast with you, Michael. I had to go, so it's that Twitter page that I sent you. I had to go to the man himself to kind of tell me how he met this woman that he decided to marry and then divorce after 9 months or so. So I guess let's listen to Mr. Cawthorn himself explain maybe a couple of things here.
Hold on. I had to log into Twitter, so I didn't have a fucking.
Oh, okay, cool. And this was also.
Gotcha. Here, hold on.
I decided to do that. I said, well, doctor, let me go on one last trip just in case I'm not going to be able to ever get on an airplane again. And then, so he said, okay, and you'll be in a lot of pain. I said, it's worth it. So me and a bunch of my friends, we went to, we got to go over to very close to Russia. Went to Sweden and Norway, and we had just an incredible vacation. It was great. I was in a lot of pain the whole time, but it was wonderful. But then we got on a boat and went into St. Petersburg in Russia. And, we just decided to take $100 each and go into a casino and see how it went. And, I ended up meeting an American there who was a captain in the Army, and he was originally from Miami. What? And so we hit it off, created a really great relationship, and stayed in contact.
What now?
Wait, what? First of all, I don't think casinos are legal in Russia. I might need to fact check that, but I'm fairly certain there's no like legalized gambling. But go ahead. What was that other part, Madison?
Work. And until later, I was down in Miami for work, and he texted me and said, "Hey, I ended up meeting an American there who was a captain in the Army, and he was originally from Miami, and so we hit it off."
So wait.
What was the guy doing? What was the former U.S. military guy just hanging out in Russia at the fucking blackjack table? Or whatever
a presumably illegal blackjack table. What would those odds be? Oh, I'll bet. You know what? No. I'll bet he'll explain. I bet he'll explain. I just let's not put words in the man's mouth.
Great relationship, and stayed in contact for about a year and a half. Until later, I was down in Miami for work. And he texted me and said, "Hey, would you like to come compete in a CrossFit competition?" And so I laughed and said, "Well, Todd, I'm in a wheelchair. I obviously can't do CrossFit." And he said, "Well, just do the pull-up section." I was like, "Okay, sounds good." And so I show up. But anyways, it all was a sham. It was a fake CrossFit competition. He just wanted me to put me in the same room with the girl who is eventually going to become my fiance. And so we did.
What?
I hit it off, and it's been a magical relationship.
Wait, what? What?
Hold on.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, what?
Let me put the piece. Listen. I smoke.
Help me out, because I'm sleep deprived as Meeks.
My mind can't always piece things together easily. But if I heard that right,
please help me here.
The man took an ill-advised trip to Finland. And I don't know what the context is of the trip to Finland, but he makes it pretty fucking clear his doctors told him not to do it, that he was being a tremendous amount of pain.
Mm-hmm.
He does it anyway.
Right.
Goes to Finland.
Yeah. Finland.
While in Finland, decides...
Let's just reverse that. You have one vacation left, pal. You have one. Let me go to this country that has a very loose and porous border and relationship with one other country.
Right. It's Russia.
Yeah. You're right.
We're just going to decide on a whim. Let's just go to St. Petersburg. Is it Petersburg or St. Petersburg?
It's St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg, Russia, and go gamble a little bit. Now, we don't know. We should probably look up and find out if gambling and casinos are illegal in Russia, because that does add a dimension to the story. But let's just assume it's on the up and up. Casinos exist. He's going to go to one. They don't have casinos anywhere in Finland. You got to go to St. Petersburg, Russia for that?
Go to another country?
To spend $100 in a casino? Okay. While you're there, spending this $100 at the casino in Russia, you meet this army general, retired, who is at a casino in Russia, and then...
So what's a bigger coincidence that, let's slice it, gambling's legal in Russia, and you ran into this retired army guy in this ginormous Kremlin-shaped casino?
Of all the people.
Right. Or gambling's illegal, and you met this retired army guy at this closed door. You've got to know Igor's password
in St. Petersburg, Russia.
I don't know that there's a bigger. I think they're kind of neck and neck there.
But the story gets weirder somehow. In that this guy is just so happens to be from Miami, where Madison Cawthorn spends quite a bit of his time, apparently. That's ironic in itself.
And we kept in touch for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Now, if I met some stranger at a casino and I wasn't, because Madison Cawthorn has never served in the military, if I just met some strange jerk off at a casino, oh, you're American, hey, fist bump, all right, blackjack, all right, a couple drinks, like text, all right, hey, it was nice meeting you. Like, after 6 months, that guy's number's deleted from my phone.
Right, never talking to him again.
Right.
This
time, year and a
story in this fucking weird universe of the multiverse, this guy who has no military background, no reason to have spent what amounts to a very short amount of time in a casino in Russia, calls this guy up months later.
A year and a half later, excuse me.
Grooming.
A year and a half after you've met this guy in a casino in Russia, he invites you to a CrossFit competition, and you go, well, yeah, okay. Well, I just have to do I'm only going to do the pull.
But my legs don't work.
Oh, yeah, duh, my legs don't work. Oh, yeah. Just do the pull-up ones. Only for it to then turn out that it was a fake CrossFit competition, and he only wanted to get you there to set you up with a woman who would become your wife. None of this is fucking weird to anybody?
It's weird to me.
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit from the man's mouth himself.
Leave that story. It's so fucking ridiculous. Sounds made up.
This is a sitting member of Congress.
It sounds like he made this story up on how he met his wife. Is his wife Christina Russian? Because it's spelled like a Christina that's got a Russian Christina.
Legit spent 15 minutes trying to find out some information about her, and all I can find is that some information about her father, who's a professor, allegedly born in the U.S., but I don't have enough background information. The story about the mother is even a little more mysterious. I read in a couple of different articles a snippet that
weirdo this guy
she may have been like the help somewhere. I mean, and if you've seen her, she's a very attractive young woman, and
Right.
clearly in a CrossFit because she's got that kind of that build and all that kind of stuff too. So, this
right? This does feel like a story my son would tell when he was lying to us, and it was so obvious he was lying. Like the time that he claimed that his Xbox 360 turned itself on and turned on a game when he rolled over on the controller and in his bed while he was sleeping.
that happens.
It happens, right?
Happens all the time.
It sounds.
I'm with
it
you, Ian.
like someone making up a complete farcical story to cover for something that they don't really want you to know the real story, because that is so absurd. That is an absurd story that doesn't make sense on multiple levels.
And here's an insight into then his psychology behind this too, because I'm sure he probably understands what has happened to him. You got groomed. She probably got some interesting information about some of your interests and proclivities and extramarital stuff, maybe, and then got what she wanted, bounced out as a young, attractive female might, because to be honest with you, like, doesn't make sense. Sorry, this might be really cruel of me, and I'm sure love exists in every sort of fashion, every kind of way, but I can't see a healthy CrossFitter that's a competitive CrossFitter kind of marrying somebody that is disabled like Madison
That
is.
can't share that passion completely the same. Yes, I agree with you. I know I know what you're saying, and it comes off insensitive, but it is a reality. It is a reality that most women it doesn't make sense. And the fact that it only lasted a year, the whole marriage, he's only been a sitting member of Congress for not even a full year.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah.
And so man, a lot of that adds up to shenanigans. Fucking nanigans.
Right. And let's recall how Russian Black Widow Maria Butina basically slept with everybody in the NRA and got the goods on them and had then the compromise to put a lot of them into situations where they had to accept certain monies and made sure that other monies got transferred another way. We call that money laundering. And this can go all the way, Melania. I don't think Melania is somebody. If anything, Melania is just more of a handler, reporter back. But Ivana, I encourage everybody in the Topic Thunder world to go look up the childhood of Ivana Trump.
Yeah.
And just understand where she came from, the time frame she came from, which was Soviet Russia, 15 countries, all as the Iron Curtain, if you will.
Right.
And how actively they pursued, let's just say, candidates. That nothing new. And ladies and gentlemen, this story kind of stinks of it.
Here. Yeah, you're definitely onto something here, and because that video is preposterous, and every red flag that is possible to go up, that story sets off every fucking red flag, whether it's true or not. But you know what I mean?
Either monumentally stupid to tell the truth, right? Like that, and just air it out there. Like, here it is, folks. This is what happened. And for folks like us, we're not Dan Rather here. We're not like, we're just like wait, what did you just say? Wait, what? What? Or is he so programmed? Is he so medicated that he can't tell the reality versus the lie, or is he so traumatized that the PTSD? Sure, the PTSD of a really super fit guy losing his legs, like that makes him even more vulnerable candidate, right?
Sure.
Like, right, there's some insecurities there. Then and trust when you get into
it makes him a sympathetic figure as well, right? A lot of people will say, how can you be mad at a guy in a wheelchair, right? Like, how can you say bad things about a guy in a wheelchair?
Ryan Hansen,
glasses on. Yes,
Ryan Hansen with the sitting member. That is bravo, sir. Every week that man delivers.
Yes, this basically was the big. We didn't play the music, but it was the big.
I didn't really mean for it to be the big, but it became the big. That's just sometimes how the big happens.
When you play that video, like we we are too fucking, what's the right word, conscious to fucking watch that video and go, oh yeah, I'm just gonna take that at its fucking face value. Like, come on,
Me and my friends,
we're not that fucking stupid.
My last vacation before I lost my legs, guys, we went to Finland. I know, in a whim.
I went to a casino in Russia, and
We only took $100 a piece.
You'll never believe what happened.
Never.
To an army general retired who was hanging out in a casino in Russia. We chopped it up for a bit. We parted ways. And then guess what?
Guys.
A year and a half later, that guy invented a CrossFit competition to introduce me to a woman who I would end up marrying and divorcing a year later.
And marrying, and let's be honest, the American population does not like marrying single men or electing single men, right? It's very rare to see a bachelor or bachelorette attain office. They want to see that family or that the photo op with the wife or husband, well be it. So it could have been as simple as that too.
That's a great point. That's probably had something to do with it.
8 months though, like this chick had everything to gain. Apparently, from what I read in multiple sources, she's studied to be an anesthesiologist, which is cool. But still, this still doesn't cut the way like that. Hey, I've never been married. I don't know what irreconcilable differences are. But after 8 months, it seems to me you really didn't give it a full shot at making it work.
You didn't really try to work through anything, or you didn't really know your partner before you got married.
Or mission accomplished. Peace out.
Parting ways, irreconcilable differences. Wink, wink.
Well, folks, it's the last show of the year. And I know it's been a pretty wild year. You know, a lot of upgrades around the office here, a lot of new things that we've been talking about doing, and a lot of new things that we have done.
This session has been on fire. Like, that, of all the things in the last year plus that has taken this show to the next level is the amount of interaction from you guys. It has changed the dynamics of this show to the point where we have literally hundreds of comments in an hour plus from different people joining in on the conversation, adding to the conversation. It's amazing how far we've come in just a year plus. But the reason we're here, the main event, if you will, the idea of all ideas is this.
It's the lightning round! Only here on Topic. Let's see those lightning bolts. Folks, it's the lightning round. You know, 3 stories enter the Thunderdome. 1 story gets read. And this is democracy here, ladies and gentlemen. Living, breathing exercise and democracy. That is the chat room. You vote. What story gets read? Let's not dilly-dally. Let's get on right to it. Headline number 1. A 58-foot bridge is stolen in Ohio.
What?
Headline number 2. A crossbow-armed man threatened to, quote, assassinate the queen in revenge for colonial massacre.
Yes! I love them.
Headline number 3. Australian man stuck in Israel since 2013 can't leave for 8,000 years.
I don't know how that works, but that doesn't seem real.
One more time for you folks voting at home. We'll start tabulating the results as they come in, but one more time, headline number 1. A 58-foot bridge was stolen in Ohio. Why? Headline number 2. Crossbow-armed man threatened to assassinate the queen in a revenge plot for colonial massacre. I'm sure it's very polite and British, or it's a proper envelope with an invitation to her death, like execution.
It's hard pressed to beat a headline that begins with crossbow wielding man.
Your first thought is Florida, not Britain. And headline number 3, Australia man, well, he's stuck in Israel since 2013 because he can't leave for another 8,000 years thanks to a divorce.
Wow. Okay.
That is
number one is the stolen bridge. I'm dumbfounded by that. And it looks like there are a lot. Ma Jordan going with number one. Looks like, I don't know if that's a vote or if she's just pointing out, and Chris pointing out that was on WGN. It looks like Hayden is also going to number one. Billy Wack voting for number 3.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Biz going with number 2. Bridge under the river, Cuyahoga. Troll, medieval times.
That's a bridge man right there. That's a bridge man right there. And just folks, I don't know if you see that or not, but we just crossed 100 different messages. 100 unique messages in the chat room. That's what we're talking about when we see like the growth of the program and stuff like that. The participation. We get that type of kind of analytics and feedback from the app here. So super cool. That's a lot of messages flying on just one simple podcast show that Dan Brooks has never seen before. So I think we're gonna go. I think we're gonna go with. It is still a landslide. I think, folks, that we're not gonna get a chance to cross that bridge over troubled waters because somebody stole it. Akron, Ohio. Police have investigated the theft of all kinds of valuables over the years, but for the first time in anyone's memory, detectives are trying to find out who stole a bridge. At one time, the pedestrian bridge was along the Little Cuyahoga River in Middlebury Run Park, which sits in the shadow of the Goodyear World Headquarters in Akron's East End. It's a lot of adjectives for the shitty part of Akron. However, the complete 58-foot-long bridge was removed from the park as of a wetlands restoration project and moved to a field along Cyberlingy Street. The city of Akron had hoped to repurpose the bridge, but on November 11th, police were notified the bridge had been stolen. There are tracks in the field that show where the thieves drove their truck or trucks. Investigators say they are not sure what the crooks plan to do with the bridge.
I was gonna say, like, what the fuck are you gonna do with a bridge? Like, you can't sell it. And if you use it, okay, great, but like someone's gonna notice. Just feels like you can't really do much with it.
Lieutenant Mike Miller has echoes your thoughts, and he says, I guess it could be used for a variety of different things, include a simple landscaping project, or they could use it for an engineering project or some other large-scale project. It's a lot of projects there, Mike.
Thanks, sir.
The bridge is almost all polymer, I'm told. This is a quote again from Lieutenant Miller, and really just connected by some bolts. So if you have any equipment, sockets, or anything of that nature, it wouldn't have been very difficult to start the process of disassembling that.
No one noticed these guys in the field either deconstructing or putting a giant bridge on their truck. Like, nobody saw this. Like, doesn't seem plausible to me either. It is almost as not plausible as Madison Cawthorn's fucking story earlier.
Let me tell you the story of a bunch of jerks that stole wood from somebody's home construction project to build a wrestling ring, to only later find out that they knew the person that they stole the wood from, and it delayed the construction and moving into their house for over a year. There's your lightning round for the last episode of this year here, ladies and gentlemen. 2021, almost in the books, and we couldn't have had this much fun, this much growth, and this much spirit behind the show without you. Yes, you. And we look forward to more. But to be quite frank with you, lots of ideas on the burner here. However slow they may roll out, you know how we do things here on Topic Thunder. But thanks, sincerely, everybody, for participating, for moving to Twitch, for kind of following us on this journey and participating and helping us all evolve with your ideas, thoughts, and part of the conversation in this little internet saloon we call Topic Thunder. Ben, I know you've got other side projects. You got anything cooking?
Yeah, we're taking a couple weeks off for various reasons, but the wrestling podcast will be coming back this week. And as always, I'm trying to fit stuff in with Joe, but it never really works out.
You know, one of these days I want to pick a podcast. I want to pick a pay-per-view and do one of those with you. But that's for a different show. This is Topic Thunder. You've been listening to us. Happy New Year.